There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go.
How's it going?
Jay, thank you for doing this, brother.
Sure.
Really appreciate your time, man. Man, I'm a big fan. I've admired what you and Mike have done for our industry for a long time with the National Association of Expert Advisors. What you're doing with EXP and our Honey Badger group, man, the value you guys are bringing to us is second to none. So I really appreciate you taking your time this morning to do
Oh,
this with me.
absolutely, man. Thank you, Philip.
Yeah. So Jay, before we get going here, for that small group of people that don't know who Jay Kinder is, and I'm just gonna say, if you don't know who Jay Kinder is and you're in our industry, go do your homework. Go look this man up. He has done some incredible things in our industry. But for that small group that doesn't know, can you give us a quick
Yeah.
summary and some of your successes in this
Oh
business?
yeah, yeah. I think my list of failures are much
Hey,
longer than my list of successes. But
share
uh,
them as well. Hey,
right, yeah. So I got into real estate. I think this is my 23rd year. So I got in '97. I was 19 years old. Had no clue what I was doing getting into real estate. My dad had just bought a Coldwell Banker franchise, and so I remember seeing a guy making the check. He got a check that day for like $5,000, and I was mowing my dad's rental properties at the time and going to college. And I saw this. He made this. I was like, what did this guy do today? I was coming to get my like $400 check, and I was like, um, well, I mean, he didn't look like he broke a sweat today at all, and he's getting like a $5,000 check. I was like, well, tell me about this commissions and all this, because my dad wasn't really in sales. He had property management, but when he bought the company, I started seeing a little bit of the sales opportunity side and decided to get into real estate. No clue what I was doing. I mean, it was definitely a challenge being young and trying to figure it out. And I had certainly no sphere of influence, and stuff like that at the age I was at. All my friends were still doing kickstands,
right.
and so yeah, got into real estate, tried to figure it out, struggled through the first couple of years. Ultimately, spent a ton of money traveling around, getting coached by just everybody in the industry. There's nobody that sold anything to real estate agents that I didn't buy at some point. And taking little bits and pieces, trying things, and some things would work, some things wouldn't work. Most things didn't work, and every once in a while you find something that really worked, and ultimately built the business up to I was number 2 in the world for Coldwell Banker, sold 500 plus homes a year for a number of years, and built a big team. Became very frustrated because I wanted to step out of production. That was my goal. I kept setting these goals of hitting production numbers, but my real goal was time freedom, and I was trying to get out of production. But the bigger the team got and the more sales we had, the more I felt like I had to work, and weekends and evenings were harder to take off, and a lot of pressure because it's either doing well or you can make 100 grand a month or you can lose 100 grand a month depending on how things go, and became frustrated that nobody was teaching anybody how to build a business. Like it was all like individual things. Like Mike Ferry was teaching prospecting, and he was saying that's the only way, right? Well, it's not the only way of your business, but it's not the only way. And Buffini's teaching referrals, and that's only referral by referral only. No, it's not. That's just a pillar of the business, right? Who's teaching the business? And so we started seeking outside the industry and going to mentors that were not specific to real estate and really business mentors. And that was where we were able to kind of nail down the financial model. I was able to finally step out of production. I tried to do it twice, got thrown back into production, tried to keep the company, kind of thing. And that was a struggle, right? And I was very frustrated that I built my business up to that level and following all these people, telling you to, sell 500 homes a year. And then to realize my ladder was up against the wrong wall. It was not, the business model wasn't sustainable for the long term if I wanted to step out of production. And so I became very passionate about helping agents, started a company with Michael Reese. At that time, we were coaching real estate agents and did that from 2006 through the downturn. All the way to today. We still have that company that coaches and trains agents all around the country and teaching them to build a business. I think that was really the focus. And, at the time, there wasn't anybody doing that. I think now there's more of a business mindset around building, a real estate business as opposed to just selling homes. Right. And I think we were part of the change that really helped make that happen, because there just wasn't a lot of content around the systems and processes and financial model and all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, just passionate about helping agents, have a better life, and super fulfilling and blessed to be in this industry, be able to do what I've done and continue to help agents. And now I get to do it on an even bigger platform and without having to ask for a credit card. And that's a real blessing for me to be able to help people and not have to ask for money. So very cool.
Right. Yeah, one of the things that became extremely evident to me from the beginning, and I only been here probably, right about a month, and I think you and I have had about four live conversations,
Right.
exchange a ton of text. You've allowed me into the boot camp, the National Association of
Right.
Expert boot camp. So what you're saying is 100% true. It's no BS, no fluff. The accessibility that you give us all is unparalleled, and I appreciate you for doing that. And I bring that up just because sometimes people say things
Right.
and just for the sake of saying it. You actually, not once that I've reached out to you, you did not reach back out to me. So I appreciate you for doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I've been able to say this for 3 years at EXP, and there'll be a day where maybe it's not as easy to live up to that. But it's, I try not. Every once in a while, I probably miss a text message. I mean, I just got
Right.
off of a 30-minute call, and I had 24 text messages. So it's like it's not easy. But I mean, I'm more accessible than I've ever been, and
Right.
because I'm not managing and leading a bunch of people and running a company. I'm here as a support system for the agents in our group at EXP, and so it's cool, man. And this is what I enjoy, right? Like I
Right.
enjoy the down in the dirty, having conversations. And if you need
Yeah.
something, yeah,
Yeah.
let me hook you up with this. Yeah, you just need my agent to CEO course. I'll send that to you. Like that's for me. This is the fun part, is working with you guys on in the that are boots on the ground out there killing it. And it's cool to be able to do that. But I wouldn't have been able to do that before with as many employees as I had. I didn't have the time. And so for me, it's enjoyable, and I'm happy to be able to be as responsive as I have been.
Yeah, man. Thank you. So Jay, so you go from having a hard time the first couple of years in real estate, and you obviously go to number two in Coldwell Banker. Can you elaborate a little bit on that journey? Like,
Sure.
for that agent out there right now is like, wow, how did he do that?
Right. Yeah. So I was, definitely not most likely to succeed in real estate. I will say that. I mean, I didn't like talking in front of people. I was kind of a class clown, when I was in high school. I think I got voted honoriest. Certainly not most likely to succeed. But I didn't know what I was doing. And I'll tell you what really changed everything was, again, I plugged into whatever I could plug into to learn. And so, because I didn't know anything, right? I was just trying to figure it out. And so if somebody had in a seminar or something, man, I was there. Early on, I found, I tried a lot of things that mailers and this and that and the other. I mean, I tried a bunch of stuff and it didn't work. But I knew, all I needed was that first check. You get that first commission check and it's, several $1,000s. I mean, that's a lot of money to, somebody who's 19 years old. And it's, all at one day you get that money. You're like, oh, shoot, if I just do this a couple times a month, I mean, this is great. Right. And so it seems very doable. And so I had a little bit of, a little bit of success in selling that first house. And I got, I had the fever after that. I was like, I'm going to figure this out. But what really changed it for me was when I started to learn the market statistics. And I think Nick Good actually did an interview yesterday with John Kitchens in the Honey Badger group, where he broke down this. And I'm literally writing an agent right now. And I'm on that chapter where I'm breaking down like the statistics you need to know. Like I could, as a young kid, like me knowing the statistics of how many homes are on the market, average days on the market, the absorption rate, all these kinds of things that most people didn't even talk about. Like if I walked into the bank and the bank president said, hey Jay, how's the market? What's going on in the market? I would talk specifically to, hey, there's this many homes on the market. It's down from this percent from that. Da, da, da. So I started to really truly become an expert on the market. And people started to look at me a little differently, like, okay, well, this young kid knows what he's doing, right? And that gave me confidence, right? So that was a big piece of it, was really truly understanding. And if you're not subscribed to like KCM, Keeping Current Matters, and things like that to really get educated on the market, man, that stuff is gold. It's absolute gold.
Yep.
And so there's that piece, and then there was sales training. So I was fortunate to go through a lot of training. And so I would say, even though I didn't ever graduate college, I probably have hundreds of thousands of hours of credits of training that I've gone through. And, I didn't necessarily know that it was what I should have done, but I know looking back that it's what made me successful. Was I learned a sales process, and I understood it, and then I applied it. And then, I continued to iterate and try to improve upon it until I was able to lead generate, convert to clients, and make sales with it. And it started with FSBOs and expires. But I went to Dale Carnegie training, which is still around, by the way. I highly recommend it. It's the only reason I can stand in front of people and talk, because that you do a little bit of presenting in front of people, and that was good for me at a young age. And then I went to this course that doesn't even exist anymore. It was a straight up sales training for anybody in sales, but it was a guy by the name of Bruce Tanner. I learned sales and scripting, and all of the different types of closes and all this kind of stuff. And it helped me in conversation with being able to get people to say yes, and that was critical for me. And then I learned FSBOs and expires were free, and I couldn't even believe it. Like, this is how dumb I was. I didn't know there were FSBOs or expires. I didn't even know what it was, and until I was at this seminar. This guy's telling me about it. I'm like, you mean to tell me there's people that put signs in their yard that they want to sell a house, and real estate agents don't even call them? Like, are you kidding me? And so, so I was that naive, and I called. I remember I was in Norman, Oklahoma, and I was at this event. I called my dad. I was like, how come you didn't tell me about FSBOs and expires? Like, I've been trying to do this the hard way. I mean, there's people out there who already want to sell, and ain't nobody called. And so he laughed, and of course, I fell on my face the first 10 times I called him, but then I started getting better, right? And then, face to face. And then, the one that from a month ago that calls me back and says, hey man, I think we want to list. And I'm like, holy this is a gold mine. So that was that. Then I kept at it, even though I was having a lot of failure. I wasn't looking at it as failure. I was looking at it as like, I'm just getting closer to the next one that might say yes. And that was it after that. Like, and I was so shocked. I remember the first listing I got, it was on 3001 Stratford Circle. And I mean, I tried my butt to get this listing so hard, and they chose me over another agent that they should have probably chose. I'm a brand new agent basically. And I asked them why they chose me. I said, because I always did an autopsy. When I win the listing or when I would lose a listing, I would always call and find out what happened. And I was just morbidly curious, like, well, why didn't you choose me? Or why did you in this case? And they said, you know what, Jay, we really disliked your attitude. You were just super enthusiastic, and we felt like if anybody can do it, you can. I was like, oh, that's good to know. So, basically ignorance on fire is why they listed with me. But that was once I saw that was the opportunity, and I was doing open houses every Sunday and just trying to grind it out. But that's that was where it started. But once I started getting listings, I realized the strategy of getting listings was the absolute end all be all, because people see your signs, people have a house they have to sell, you get buyer leads because you have listings, it was the catalyst for everything. And so the reason I grew and I doubled and doubled and doubled and doubled was because my focus was only on listings. But because I still would sell buyers, half of my business would be buyers, but I didn't spend any money on it. Well, there was no Zillow back then. There wasn't no buyer leads that I was generating. I was only focused on getting listings, and I was looking under every rock and under every conversation to where's that next listing coming from. And that was what the catalyst was people, they saw me everywhere. They saw my signs everywhere. After a while, that started to compound. And then I just became one of the go-to agents in the marketplace. And then I started investing heavily into marketing and building a brand around, when you're thinking about real estate, who's the first person that comes to mind. And to be fair, not I wasn't number one in my own market. I had a Remax team selling 750 homes a year. So it was not easy at all to compete in that marketplace, but I was able to get 14% market share eventually. A lot of that being inbound, and that came from just going after the strategy of focusing on listings over just doing deals and selling buyers.
It's amazing, man. That's fantastic. I one of the things I've noticed about you and Michael, I think in our industry, you guys are probably at the top of when it comes to marketing. And I know you've mentioned in the past that you've gone outside of real estate and
Right.
been mentored by people like Jay Abraham, Dan Kennedy,
Yep.
Frank Kern. Right. So tell me about how that's helped you guys become way better marketers, and how you implemented some of those strategies in our industry.
Yeah, so it definitely the shift from running a couple $1 million real estate team to building a $10 million coaching organization, a lot more complexity, right? So like we had middle management, like we had layers of management within that within the org chart, so to speak. So we learned a whole lot about how to run a team successfully because we had a much bigger team that we were leading. And in order for us to do that successfully, we had to read a lot more books that we had not read. And then we applied all that back to our real estate businesses, improved the operations of our real estate businesses and our coaches and clients, the same thing, right? We were learning at a high level that made you more efficient as a business. And so that was always a gift for us, right? And so, when you're running a $10 million organization that's doing marketing to acquire customers, you learn a whole lot more about marketing, and you have to, and you have to evolve. And as new things come around, you're on top of that, usually get on the front end of it. And that was what always made us valuable as coaches, was because we were actually in the business doing whatever it was that we were telling you about, and we could show you the proof of what worked. And so it was the same thing, but it was just on another level. And so, learning from all of these different mentors, we would take, adapt, adopt, apply it to real estate, and then we would get better results with our real estate teams and with our clients. And so, that's always been, kind of our thing, is trying to get to the front of it. And I would argue that probably, from a marketing perspective, I think we're definitely the most advanced in terms of the things that we do, getting lower cost leads, the strategy for getting higher quality leads, and positioning, and all this kind of stuff that we've learned from all these guys over the years. But it's again, it's the thing when you think about real estate, the opportunity. Most everybody, if you're struggling, this is where I find agents that come to us. Usually, it's you're kind of on a roller coaster, good months, bad months. Most of your business, you've been in it long enough, you get referrals and you have a sphere of influence, but it's not predictable, right? It's like, I still don't know where my deals are going to come from 90 days from now, but I know, hopefully everything always works out, right? And so that there's always that pit in your stomach where you're like, man, you don't know what to expect, each month going in and out. So, and so most people get to that point, and you got a choice. You can either learn the skills of sales and marketing, or you can stay where you're at. There's no good and around it. You have to adopt a sales and marketing process in order to get to that next level. And that is the amazing thing is if you learn the sales skills, the marketing is not that hard. It's really not. And you can spend a couple $100s and make $10,000-$15,000, right? Like it's an incredible opportunity for you to learn that skill. And if you can spend a couple $100s and make 10 or 15, you would do that probably as often as you can in terms of time. And that's what happens with people that we help, get over that hump, is now they start getting leverage with a team around them and staff where they can do more of those deals, because they've got, now they've got more people that they're working with. It increases the number of referrals they're getting, that all of those things start to happen. And so that's really the biggest opportunity in real estate, is to learn sales and marketing. And so now what we're able to do, obviously at EXP is we're able to just give you done for you systems, right? Like you don't have to go figure it out and learn. You don't have to go to Frank Aaron. You don't have to, let me show you what works. Let me help you get it implemented in your technology that EXP gives you, and let's just turn it on. Right. And so like, that's been the experience that we're trying to help agents have, so that they don't have to learn everything that we had to learn in order to be successful. And that's what coaching was, right? Like we would tell you, hey, you need to do this, do this, do this, do this, and then you'd have to go do it. Now it's more, hey, we're your business partners. Let us help you do it, right? And so that's just a shift, and people don't get it. I mean, we're talking about something people don't quite understand, I think, for the most part about EXP is this is a platform. I get compensated on the back end for the agents that we bring into the company. Don't think that I'm not going to help you do that, because I'm going to be happy to do that. But I'm also going to help you with your real estate business. That's what we're kind of world class at anyway. So like, we become your business partner. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better opportunity. You don't have to pay us. So, it's cool to be able to be in that place, like I mentioned earlier, but it's a way cooler for you as an agent, if you're struggling and you need some help, to have a help that you get with people that are proven and have done it, and can show you and can.
Whoa. Jay, you froze, brother.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Am I still froze?
I can see you now. There you go. We're good.
Oh, all right. It usually just kicks me off. So if it does, I'll be back usually in about 30 seconds. Yeah, I made it through the dip.
You did.
Didn't boot me. All right.
Yeah, Jay, one of the things I'll say about what we're talking about, the plugging into the information that you provide us all. I've been as excited. I haven't been as excited as I've been the last 3 to 4 weeks, probably in the last 10 years, about real estate. Just the information that we've received, the training, and just the opportunities that we're seeing with EXP. One of the takes that I formulated just recently with EXP, and I'm, I don't want to. This is not going to be like a full blown explanation, but Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant, right?
Yeah. Yep.
On the left side is employee, self-employed, and that's where you exchange time for money, right?
Active income, right?
Right, and most of us, 95% of agents will always stay on that bottom quadrant on the left as self-employed. And then the right side is business owners, investors. The other 5% of agents that really succeed at a high level can move over to the right as brokers or management office, or some flip properties or buy units. I
Yep.
think the genius of EXP is that the moment you uh, join the company, you're automatically placed on the right hand side as both a business owner, because it's a agent owned business, and
Yep.
as an investor because of the stock potential that you have with the property.
Right.
So that's something to me that I was like, man, they figured something out. This platform is unlike anything I've ever seen before. And you're right, some people don't understand it. But tell me about you. You had a big business with what brand were you
I
for?
was independent, actually. We had
Okay.
gone independent.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. And this is, I mean, we probably coached more people to go independent than probably anybody in the coaching industry anyway, because we're all about doing the math, right? And if you do the math and you're paying, like, I got my $100,000 trophies over here from Coldwell Banker. So like I paid $100,000 for my number, top 10 in the world trophies over there. And that's why I still have them, because they're extremely valuable, yet they're not. They're not worth
Right.
$100,000. You can't take them to the bank. But
Right.
and so you get to a point where the math doesn't make sense for you to be at a brokerage. And for most people, it's like, if you're paying 30,000, 25 to 30,000 or more, you probably have a better opportunity somewhere else. So we started looking. So we went independent. And when you're independent and you have all the training we have and all the systems, and we even had our own technology, like, there was no reason that I could think of anyways that I would ever join a company. Like, why would I pay them anything? And the reality is that if you're one of those people that are really, really happy where you're at, and you can't even fathom there's nothing. I mean, this is how many people I talk to. Almost everybody that joins EXP is happy where they're at, and they will tell you that there's no way I'm leaving where I'm at. There's not anything that you could show me that's going to change that. And yet they come join us at EXP. Well, why? And it's because the opportunity is like nothing we've ever seen. It's a much bigger opportunity. If your goal is to do more than what you're doing today, and you want to be around the kind of people that can help you, and you want to have an exit strategy someday where you have an asset at the end of your career, and you'd like to create some passive income along the way, and you'd like us to help you with that, then we can help you with that, right? And if you just want to sell more houses, we can even help you with that too. And so, like, that's the when we saw that, and here was our decided. There's two things that for us we had to determine to decide to join. Number one, did we believe in the leadership team, and that's just because we had a vision. We had a big company that was doing well, and at the time we joined, they weren't much bigger than we were, and so they were bigger than us, but not significantly bigger. And so, what is their vision? What are they about? Who are they as human beings? And did we think they could execute on that vision? And I can say hands down, the leadership team at EXP, Effort as our leader, is they're some of the smartest people I've ever met, and brilliant, just brilliant. And so I really bought into the vision and the leadership team. That was critical for me. Because it was early on when we were looking at it, 5,000 agents, I think. So that was one piece. And then, did we believe it was better for agents? Like, did we truly, genuinely believe that an agent that came to EXP, that they would never want to leave, and that they could execute on that at scale across the country? Because that's what we were betting on. And so, and we did. We once we understood the model, and we saw what all pieces that they had, it just over and over and over was just reiterating that this is the best solution for anybody who's trying to do more than what they're doing right now. No matter what angle they want to take advantage of in terms of opportunity, there's nobody that it makes sense for. Not an independent brokerage, unless you own a franchise that you're stuck in for 10 years. Like, everybody should be at EXP. It's mathematically impossible for you to show me that you shouldn't be. And so unless you're telling me you're lazy and you're not going to do any work at all, and then I can't help you anyways, right? Just stay where you're at. Right. But like, that's the truth. And it's fun because this kind of conversation attracts the right kind of people, right? Like, nobody, I don't like the whining and bitching and complaining that happens in most real estate offices. And
Yep.
because of the message that we put out there about EXP, we tend to attract the kind of people that feel the same way. And they just want to be around people that help lift them up and make them better.
Yep.
Right. And,
Yep.
it sucks. You get sucked up to the top, when you're around, really high quality people and people that think big and that are always looking to be abundant and add value to people's lives. Like, that's just a really cool thing. And I was on a call today with Dave Kennord, the president of the company. And it wasn't just me. It was a group of the leaders in the company. We're just staying plugged in and stuff. And, this whole company's focus is around, this is what they said, bro. It was unbelievable to me. Like, I was like, that's so freaking brilliant. But like, as a company, really, I mean, I have to do the valuation. Our stock's at like 75. I don't know. What are we? A lot. Our valuation and market cap is huge right now with the stock where it's at. But they have the ability. I don't know. I think they have 600 or 700 employees. They have the ability to put systems in place for the company to go do agent attraction and bring people in and harvest leads and bring agents into the company. But they said we stop and we think, what opportunity could we give the agents that are in our company to do this and get leverage and help the leaders in the company that are helping bring other agents in the company and helping them do the same thing? How do we stop trying to do things ourselves and create that opportunity for the people, the agents in the company? That's just the way they think, right? Like, not only is it brilliant because it sheds cost and it creates opportunity for everyone in the company to earn more money and to make money instead of them doing things that they think they could do better somehow or whatever, and creates more revenue for the company. They look for, how do we make this a win-win? And it is just really brilliant thinking because it attracts the kind of people that want to join this company, right? I mean, there's, when people don't, people can't believe, I saw a check today that was $770 or something $1,000 in revenue share for 1 month's revenue share. I saw another one that today for $530,000. And I saw one that was going to go into my account that's about half of that. And so I know what the opportunity is. And for people that are looking for opportunity, that's who we're looking for, right? Like, if you really truly want to have financial wealth and you're not looking at EXP, then pull your head out of the sand, listen twice as hard. And I think we got a video we can share, the Why Partner With Us video about what that looks like when you partner with us. But it's just, you'd be crazy not to invest the time. And that's what I see the most, is most people think they know what it is. They've never invested an hour of their own time to look at what the opportunity is, specifically with partnering with us and what that looks like. And then look at it, poke holes in it. Tell me, do it with the intention of, you're going to show me why you never going to leave where you're at because I'm wrong and you're right. If that's what you want to do that. But you'll look at it a lot closer. And I think if you do have an open mind and you say, hey, maybe there is a better way. Maybe there's something I've never seen before. That's what it took for me. And and if it wasn't for that, I would have missed this opportunity and kept on down the path I was on, which was fine, but I would have missed the opportunity of a lifetime, and I'd have been sick to my stomach. I mean, I'd be sick every day if I missed it.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that. And yeah, I will post the link to the video where you share the opportunity, the EXP opportunity with people, so they can just find it in the comment section. So Jay, I'm going to ask you one last question, but before I do that, I just want to acknowledge you for the way you bring it, brother. It's really inspirational. You're so down to earth, and again, you're so accessible to us, and I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for doing that. I mean, just doing this alone is, the proof is in the pudding, right?
Right.
So thank you for doing that. Now, let me ask you, I'm going to take this last question and I'm going to copy, there's this podcast called, what's it called? School of Greatness with Lewis House.
Yeah.
And he always does the three truths question at the end, but I'm going to twist it with a real estate twist in it. If you had to go back to the first day you started real estate and everything you know about real estate was blanked out today, but you could only take three truths, three pieces of information to start over again, what are the three things you would take with you?
So the three pieces of information. So that's a tough one, right? So like, you take away, if you take away my skills, right? So like you take away, I'm a blank canvas and I had to start over. If I was parachute into a new market anywhere in the country, I can answer that one easily because I have the sales skills still, right? Like I still have my skills. So you got away, I would immediately look for a mentor. That would be the first thing I would find is who's going to be my mentor. And I'm going to look for someone who's having the level of success that that is in alignment with my vision for why I'm doing this and what's important to me. And they need to have done it. And here's the other piece of this: they need to have also helped other people do it too, right? So it's one thing to have a mentor that's doing what it is that you want to live. It's a whole nother thing to find a mentor that can also show you how they've helped others do it. That means they had systems to help somebody do it too. So that's what I'm going to look for, like right out of the gate. So when I have a problem, go ahead.
Is that because it's a different skill to do that as well?
Oh yes, it's an absolutely different skill. Yes, it's fantastically difficult. Like, so we created this. I'll give you just an example of how hard it was. I didn't know it was going to be that hard, but there's a book that the kid that's the real chess genius that plays chess, and it's about learning. It's about what you're doing and then being able to teach what it is that you're doing and how massively complex it is to break it down to principles to teach it to somebody. Yeah. And I learned that by going on, I've been on 4,000. Mike Reese asked me a question when they said, "Hey, what's the most value you think you could bring to an agent?" I was like, man, I go on 5 listings a day. If there's anything, it's probably how to win a listing. And so then he was trying to prod me to create a product around it. And so I started trying to do that. I started trying to create a system, and I needed to get a system so that I could hand that off and step out of the business. I needed to have a system because I couldn't just use my ability to connect with folks that it had to be something that somebody else could do too, right? If I'm going to put someone else out there on that listing appointment to be there, if I'm not there, they need to be able to do what I did. And so I had to take all of the things that I was good at in selling, because I didn't know that I could duplicate that. I needed to create a process, right? And so and I didn't know what the process was because I'd never tried to document it. And so it took me 18 months to document the system of, okay, I do this, and this is the principle behind this. This is the principles. Here's the process. Here's the next step. And, building trust with both parties, like all that stuff I'd never thought through it, but it took me 18 months and a lot of frustration, but I created that process, and then I could train someone to the system, right? And so that's what we did with NAEA. The same thing. We took the same system. Now you get, when you get plugged in, you get the system, right? Like in that process. And so that's the difficult thing, is finding someone who's thought through it enough that they can give you the principles to it, and really ideally a done for you version. And then train on it, right? Like I know that repetition is the mother of all skills. So if I'm back to ground zero and I'm selling something new and real estate's new to me, I'm going to go back to the how many reps can I get in over the fastest period of time so that I can get average, right? Like it's like 10,000 hours. If that's all, that whole thing is most misunderstood. 10,000 hours if you want to be mastery. Mastery is 10,000 hours. That's like if you want to be the Tiger Woods of golf, right? But to be good at something only takes 20 hours. So you could do something 20-hour practice for 20 hours and you can get good at something. And so that, to me, that's 20 presentations, right? So if I get face to face with 20 people and I iterate on the process that I'm following, then I can get good at that. By the time you get to about 10, you're going to realize, oh, I'm not very bad. I'm getting pretty good at this. And then by the time you get to 20, you're going to have a few listings. And so that would be my mode of operation, if you will, to try to get my skills up to a level where I had confidence and I could win. And I would go after FSBOs expires because that's the only thing I know to do.
Okay, so get a mentor, put the reps in, and go after FSBOs and expireds.
Yeah, that would be it. That would be it.
Cool, brother. Well, Jay, I appreciate you. Thank you for doing this. And man, I hope we can do this again in the future.
Anytime, buddy. Appreciate you, Philip. It's always a pleasure.
All right. And guys, go on the comment section. You'll have a link where Jay himself explains this opportunity to you. See you guys.